little girl named Lucy was given a small doll by her parents. It once belonged to a great aunt of hers, who passed away. Lucy secretly hated the doll. It made her feel unnerved. It had nasty little black eyes that would follow her around the room, and it had a cross expression upon its face. Nevertheless, Lucy accepted the doll, as she was well brought up and didn't want to upset her parents about it. The parents said that the name of the doll was Arabella. Lucy was even more afraid now because the doll had a name. It made it more human. Even so, Lucy never really believed she had a conscious level with that doll. It couldn't be anything to her. It's just a doll after all, and it only reached up above her knees. So to put her mind at rest, she stuffed Arabella into a little cupboard under the stairs behind a pile of shoes where her parents wouldn't see her. It was not until a few nights later, when Lucy was lying in bed, and she heard a noise, a shuffling sound, which went on for about 5 minutes, and then a brief dragging noise, and finally a scuttling like little footsteps walking very fast. Lucy was pinned to the bed with fear, unable to move. Then she heard a voice. Not loud, but quiet enough not to wake her parents. Lucy always slept with the door open and the landing light on. She was a little scared of the dark. Therefore, she could hear more through her open door. Lucy heard a voice say, "Lucy, I'm on the first step." And then loud scrambling again, and whatever was speaking apparently turned tails and returned to the place it was hiding. Lucy didn't sleep a wink that night, but laid in fear until the break of dawn when her mother got her up for school. Lucy tried to explain to her mother what had happened last night, but she was so tired. When her mother passed it off as it was just a dream, she didn't have the strength to argue. Lucy begged her parents to get rid of the doll, but they insisted that it had been a great aunt's wish that Lucy would have her doll. She checked the cupboard under the stairs, but Arabella was exactly where Lucy had left her. She reluctantly went back to bed. That night, Lucy fought against sleep, but eventually drifted off. Presently, that same voice woke Lucy again. She wondered if she could only hear it in her head. "Lucy, I'm on the 5th step," it said. Then came the scuffling noise, and the voice didn't reoccur that night. Lucy was crying by now, and again, she didn't sleep that night. At school, Lucy told her friends about the doll, and of course they laughed at her. Lucy could only think that if Arabella was climbing 4 steps at a time, then there was only one more night to go. That night, Lucy decided to shut her bedroom door. When her mother turned out the light, she asked why Lucy was no longer scared of the dark. Lucy replied that she still was, and asked her mother if she can leave her bedroom lights on. But her mother pointed out that her bedroom light was so bright that it would keep her awake, and said no. Lucy reluctantly agreed to sleep without her light on. She opened the bedroom curtains instead to light the room a little anyway. Just as she began to doze off, she heard the noise, and then the voice. "Lucy, I'm on the top step." Lucy knew her door was closed, but she was still terribly afraid. Her heart pounding. She knew if she stayed in bed, she wouldn't be safe. So she got up to investigate. A couple of minutes later, she screamed. Lucy's parents found the body at the bottom of the stairs. They guessed she was on her way to the bathroom without switching on the lights in the hallway and had fallen down the stairs, breaking her neck. Arabella, the favorite family doll, was found beside the body, with a smile. Dead horses. This was the second time I've dreamt of them. The ceiling above was pale and white. I realized this as I stared at it for several minutes laying in bed. Dead horses in your dreams mean that something in your life that initially offers you strength is now gone or is about to be gone. But what could it be? After slipping on some jeans, socks, an undershirt, and a college sweatshirt, I headed down the stairs. "Good morning, Violet," my mother called from the kitchen. "I have a surprise for you." I headed into the kitchen. The first thing I noticed was a large wooden box. The edges were designed with golden roses and had a golden keyhole in the center. "What is this?" I asked, running my fingers along the box's surface, only to find dust covering my fingertips. "It's a welcome gift from the lady at the antique store. She gave it to us for free," my mother said, smiling warmly as she chopped tomatoes on the cutting board. "Where's the key?" I would ask my mother, only for her to pull out a red and gold crimson key from the pocket of her apron. "Take it up to your room, now." Her voice was serious as she said this. I nodded and picked up the box in my arms, and I slowly made my way up the stairs. It felt like 10 years had passed by the time I reached my bedroom. I kept mumbling to myself, wondering what is in this thing that makes it so heavy, and what's inside. I gently slid the key into the keyhole before turning it, hearing a loud click. The lid slowly opened with a creaking sound. I was surprised by what was inside the box, though. Dolls! The inside of the box was white and cushioned, but laying in it were 4 dolls. They weren't normal dolls either. They were large, fancy porcelain dolls, and they looked very realistic. Each of them had an elegant dress. The first one had a red dress, the second had a green, and the third had a beige, and the fourth had a black. But on each of their necklace, there was a small red rose. I picked up the first one, stroking its blonde hair that was in a long braid. The hair felt so real. Its silver eyes stared back at me, making a shiver go down my spine. I gently set it back in the box and lifted the second one. Its long brown hair flowed all the way down to its feet. Its eyes were deep green, and the third had white curly hair with matching icy blue eyes. But it was the last one that intimidated me. Its cherry red hair was weaved into 2 braids, and it laid down to its shoulders, and its eyes were deep brown, almost black. 4 beautiful, lifelike dolls, with each little white gloves in their hands and black shiny shoes. What could I possibly do with these dolls? Play with them? I'm 16, for crying out loud. So I closed the box and slid it under my bed before setting the key on top of my dresser. Then I looked at the clock, and it was time to go. I was hanging out at my friend's house for a couple hours when I got this strange call from my mom. "Hello?"
"Don't come back here! Run away as far as you can!"
"Mom, what's going on?"
"They're real, Violet, and..."
The line went silent. All I can hear was static. I remember shouting on the phone, "Wait! Mom's in trouble. I have to go. I don't know what's going on. I just know she's being attacked. I don't know by who or by what, but I have to go get her." Before my friend could respond or question anything, I opened the door and darted outside. I ran as fast as I possibly could, and it felt like only 10 seconds before I reached my house. It was silent. All the lights and houses on our street were turned off, but the moon was still bright. I opened our front door and stepped inside slowly. The house looked the same, though. It was still clean and everything, but I wasn't fooled. I kept hearing a weird tapping coming from the kitchen. It was dark in there, so I slowly walked towards it, reaching my hand for the light switch. Fear starting to overcome me, I flipped the lights on. There was blood. Blood everywhere. The white surface of the counters was covered in blood, and so was the cabinets. There was something on the table, too. It was a torn-up body. It was my mom. No! I screamed, dropping to my knees as the realization hit me like a wave. She's dead. My actual mother is dead. I turned my head slowly to face the stairs, seeing movement coming from the darkness. A head dropped from the last stair step and rolled right in front of me. It was my next-door neighbor. I stood up quickly and started to step backwards. My body was shaking from the sight.
"What's going on? Where are you? Show yourself!"
I was shouting, but there was no response, just silence. It was clawing at my ears. I began to walk up the stairs, my footsteps silent on the soft carpet. As I reached the top of the stairs, I heard a door slam shut. My shaking legs forced me to turn to the hallway, but I stopped immediately. Bodies, dead bodies, were nailed to the side of the walls, all the way down to the hallway. Blood seeped onto the floor, coming from their chest. I screamed, tears streaking my cheeks as I walked down the hallway, careful not to touch them. I opened my bedroom door, and a pain emerged in my head like something hit me. I fell onto the ground as my bedroom door continued to slowly open, my eyes closing. But I forced them open one last time as blood dripped down from my forehead. The only thing I saw in my bedroom were 4 dolls, standing in a perfect row, smiling at me. Now, if you reached the end of the video, I want to say thank you. I had nothing really planned for Halloween, but this was a last minute resort, and I hoped you guys like it. I wanted to try narrating. I'm not much of a narrator, but I thought I could give it a try. Also, I'm sorry I haven't been posting lately. Life's been a bit of a hassle, and I've been pretty busy, but hopefully this makes it up. Also, I want to thank you guys. I didn't think I would ever reach 100 views, or at least 250 views. That's kind of impressive. Thank you. If you keep coming around, that means you like my work, and I will happily do more. I'm down to do collabs with anybody. If you just gotta leave me a message, and I don't know. We'll see where this goes. If you guys like the narration, please comment down below. Let me know so I can do more of this. And um, I don't know. Sorry. But yeah, thank you guys. Truly, you're amazing. You're awesome. Please keep watching, and I hope to put up more content for you guys. All right? Happy Halloween.